Welcome back guys, thank you very much for joining me. Today I'm doing a plumbing tools video. This is going to count on spanners. These are the sort of spanners that I've been using since my apprenticeship. This is all I know, this is all I really like to use. So what I'm counting on is you guys to let me know what you guys use and drop some comments below to give me more of an insight. The reason is because I've been working on a site locally where there's been 5 of us working, me and another engineer and 3 plumbers. And in their tool bags, it's amazing how much the tools vary between each person. Obviously me and the other engineer, the technicians and the technical side of things, had more in-depth tools, but the plumbers, even though there was 3 of them, their tools hugely differed. Obviously the same principle, but there was different sorts, such as footprint spanners. I haven't seen those in ages, since I was learning, but one old guy was still using them, and it was interesting to see that. So please bear in mind guys that I'm not saying these are the best going, by far they're not, but this is just my personal tool bag. So first of all we've got the Basin wrench. Now I know this is a crow's foot, but of course it does actually say Basin wrench on it, but it's what my mentor used to call it, you see. And the reason I use this the most out of all of my spanners is because it's such a short distance behind, so it can actually get on the bottom of the tap nut very easily and very snug. However, you know, that always doesn't work, so it's not the best. But again, you've got standard basin, standard bath. Makes life a lot easier, and these are only about £4. All these links are below guys, so if you do fancy just checking them out how much they are, or even getting one for yourself, just click on one of the links below and it'll take you straight to the tool and you'll know you're getting the right one. Next in line we've got the 6-inch Stilson. Now this is again a very good favourite of mine, purely because it's got adjustable jaws and it actually stays loose before you actually get it onto the nut that you're getting it on, and then it, of course, it tightens up, so you know it's not going to slip. However, you can't use these in all aspects. I appreciate that, but again, a very welcome tool. You've got the 14-inch Stilson, same principle, larger, more industrial, more commercial. Again, used often, not as often as I'd like, but still. Next we're going to move on to the box spanner. Now this is a tighter fit than the Basin wrench, but you can't always get this on, of course, if there's either a flex there or there's pipework there. You're not going to get this on. You need to disconnect that flex or disconnect that pipework before you can actually get this to sit onto the tap fitting. Of course, because that's it, it goes straight over it. There's no way around it. But a very handy piece of toolkit to have. Rarely used, to be honest, and you do have a handle that goes in there which makes life a lot easier for turning purposes, but because it's a fixed length with a Basin wrench, it makes life a bit hard, you know, not easy. Next we've got the monoblock spanners, different sizes for mainly kitchen taps, mixer taps especially, a nightmare for them. Hate doing mixer taps. You'll have a fitting like this and it will go onto the bottom and tighten up the U-clamp onto the bottom of the kitchen tap. I'm sure you've all seen them before. Very easy to use. Very handy, always in my tool bag. Next we're going to go on to the tap wrench, Basin wrench, tap spanner, whatever you want to call it. This is the flexible head and of course a spring-loaded clip at the top. Makes life a lot easier. The reason is because it actually stays on to the base of the tap when you're undoing it. So it literally just springs on and you tighten it up very easily and it stays attached while fixed. So handy to have. We're then, after the fixed length, moving on to the adjustable length. Now I've had this a long time and these aren't cheap. They're actually quite expensive. This does have the pivoting head, the same as the fixed length one. So again, it wasn't cheap, but most of these tools I actually got off a tool market, which there's one in town every so often, so you know it saves money there rather than just going to the merchants. But it's very handy. Push the button in there and adjust the length to suit, basically, so you can get quite high up, so you can see the difference there in those two. Makes life easy, but you can't always get it into the right places where you need it. Frustrating, but it's saved me no end of times. Moving on to my most used spanner, well, one of 2, okay? And I say one of 2 because there's a smaller one as well. This is the 8-inch Barco adjustable spanner. This is my favourite spanner of all time. I've had this particular one, since just after my apprenticeship. It's a very old spanner, and the reason I like this one, which you can still get them, the whole jaw comes out. It goes very wide. I mean, look at that. That's a wide berth, that is. It's a really wide berth. It actually comes out and swivels round, so you've actually got a toothed grip on the bottom, just in case you get them awkward nuts, awkward sides, where you can't just quite get it with a normal jaw. So it provides a different angle for you to go on, as you can see, rather than just a straight angle. I used to actually have a thin-jawed Barco spanner. I've provided the link below, and I really enjoyed that spanner. I really liked it because it actually got in some awkward tight spaces. Just when the nuts are too close together, you can just slide it in between and you just manage to get it. However, unfortunately it went missing when I was working, so I think somebody had that in their tool bag, I must say. And I've recently just bought a new one. I just fancied another one just because it was cheap off a market. I think it might have been £8, but obviously offline they might be slightly dearer. Next we have the 6-inch Barco spanner, exactly the same, just a lot smaller, and I use this one the most, straight behind that one. Reason is because you can isolate under the boilers, you can do drain off cocks, you can do. This is just always in my pocket, always. Same with a small stubby and a small posi head, because you never know when you're adjusting a radiator, whatever it may be. And this has saved my life for the last 6 years. It really has. I just wish I'd have bought another one. I need to buy another one because when you put it down, you feel like you've lost an arm. Next will be the commercial spanners, which again, we're looking at the 18-inch and the 15-inch. One's Barco, one's, I don't know, Teng maybe. Again, great spanners, mainly used for defensive purposes really. Yeah, not really worked, just defensive. Now I'm sure we all have cheap spanners, but the way you can tell the difference is how loose their jaws are. Going back to my Barco wrench was the best one. It truly is, because the fixed jaws, I've had that for years and it's never let me down. Yet such as this one, like a Silverline one, it's terrible. It slips off nuts all the time. Look how loose the jaws are. Just spending that little bit more money is worth it in the long run. Same with this one. Listen to that. It's just the jaw. That's terrible. That's just a standard forged steel, normal adjustable spanner that was £5 maybe, if that's £6. Terrible piece of kit. I may as well not use them, to be honest. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed this, guys. These are my spanners, what I use every day. They're my personal favourites, and I'd really like for you to comment below and tell me what you guys use, because I'm always open to opinions, and I know there is better out there, as I've said, but at the same time, you know, there's some cheap, nasty things out there you've got to watch out for. So make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.